guys, AJ here. So today is going to be all about roses. All right. Today I plan on planting an Olivia Austin rose. Now, Olivia Austin rose is named after the granddaughter of David Austin Sr. So, I would think that if they named it after an actual Austin, it's a good rose. And from a lot of the reviews, it seems to be a really good rose. It's very prolific. It has a nice medium to light, fresh, fruity fragrance. And I think the area where I'm going to put it, I will really appreciate that. A few specs. Now, off of the David Austin site, it says that it's supposed to be between 4.5 feet tall to 3.5 feet wide. Now, over here in the States, clearly, our growing conditions are a lot more varied than over in the UK. So I garden in Maryland, the Mid-Atlantic, which is Zone 7B. We get a lot of humid conditions throughout the growing season. Okay, the humidity is insane. So that is one concern I have. What I do plan on doing before I even put it in the ground is treating it with a fungicide so that black spot and mildew doesn't become too much of an issue. Now, companion planting for the Olivia Austin. I plan on putting in a few peonies and some coreopteris. So that should be a nice blend of companion plantings for that rose. Not too far from where I'm going to plant it, I also have a flamenco rose. So the weather right now is glorious. It's Easter Sunday, and right now it's roughly, I want to say, around 10:30 in the morning. It's roughly the low 70s right now. Very pleasant, not too humid. So I think it's a perfect planting condition, right, to go ahead and put these plants in the ground. I came back here near the chicken coop. So right now I'm back here near the chicken coop. I let the chickens out so you can go forage. I'm back here in the, I call this the working area of the garden because, it's a little more messy. It's more naturalistic. Okay, it's less formal in the front. And I allow the chickens to roam. I guess I can show you guys. So I have sectioned off some of the areas back here. There's the compost bin right there. I sectioned this area off because I have some tender perennials that I'd like to kind of mature before I let it open to the girls. Or who knows, I may just leave it fenced. So back here I have some geraniums. They've already put out their first flush of blooms for the season. And right here at the base is a columbine. And it's just started to, let's see if I can focus. It's just started to bud up. So even in the working area of my garden, I still want pretty things, right? I still want it to have beautiful flowering shrubs. Closer to the fence back there, I have periwinkle as a ground cover. Actually, it was here when I moved in, but I decided to keep it because during this time of the season, it really puts out that pretty purple color. I can show you real quick. So right there is the Cherokee Chief dogwood that I showed you guys a week ago. And over here I have a clear Austin climbing rose. So Claire Austin is the daughter of David Austin. And so that rose, it's a prolific bloomer. It has a soft, very pale, creamy tone to its flowers. So I just find that sectioning off parts of the garden makes it a lot more manageable, and you're able to assign a function to a certain area of your garden. So, yeah, I divided. This back area is pretty much the working area, but like I said, I still want it to look aesthetically pleasing. Here's a quick update to this area where I transplanted a whole bunch of iris a couple weeks ago. A few of them are already putting out buds. This one right here is Autumn Explosion. It's got that deep purple bud. This one right here, I'm not sure what it is, but it came from that raised bed, and it has a beautiful deep velvety burgundy color. I don't even think this camera can really do it justice. James Galloway has really put on several buds, so I'd give it another week or two before it starts to flower. But it's really filled out nice and healthy with fresh foliage. I don't see any black spot on it, but I do see some spotting. I think that's a leaf miner. So you're not going to be able to get rid of all of the bugs, but hey. And over here I've got that New Dawn that's really putting on explosive growth. Looks really healthy. The leaves are nice and shiny. Over here I've got some more iris. Beautiful bloom with that molted purple or violet color, kind of all infused, almost alien-like. And over here in the end, these are existing, and there's some more of that beautiful dark velvety color. If I can find the name, I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen. You okay? Look like you had your nose in something. You likes to eat grass. Good buddy. Good buddy. All right, so we're gonna head over there. See that bed I was able to finally mulch out? So this bed has the 3 flamenco roses. And so over here I've got a grouping of the coreopsis. There's a peony. They're all the same. Dr. Alexander Fleming. Got a little beat up. I think it fell. But there's the Olivia Austin. So here's another flamenco rose. It's doing a lot better. And I attribute that to its proximity to the vegetable garden. So it's getting all that runoff with good fertilization from the vegetable garden. So it's doing very healthy. I expect this thing to give me a lot of blooms. All right, so this is the proposed area for the Olivia Austin rose, right? Now, the proximity to this maple tree behind me, I'm not sure what I may encounter. in terms of roots. So we'll see when we start digging. But one thing to note, I was going to spray it with some fungicide. I think it's pushing 75 degrees today, and I don't think it makes sense to do it at this time of the day. So I'm just going to hold off and do it a little later on this evening. There's a lot of cardboard underneath, and you can tell it's still fresh. It hasn't biodegraded yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and simply carve out a nice big hole. And hopefully, like I said, there are no roots, because I'm gonna have to kind of shift my whole design here. It's the only inconvenience when you're using sheet mulching and you're still actively planting in those beds that you sheet mulched in. You're just gonna have to peel away the cardboard. It's not glamorous at all, but hey, it's a great technique. That way you don't have to, till out the entire bed. You don't have to kill the grass. You don't have to do any of that. Just simply dig out section by section. All right, let's get the shovel. All right, so I put some water in this hole, so I want to check the drainage quality of this hole as well. And that'll help me decide how much amendments I want to add to the hole. So it's draining pretty readily. And I also got to admit, this big maple tree is next to it, so I'm sure that this tree is going to have first dibs on any kind of watering. So now's a good time to add your amendments like your biotone, fertilizers. I'm going to mix half and half native soil with the compost mix that I just prepared. So clearly, the nurseries heavily fertilize these plants. in the beginning of the growing season, just to get a good jump start on fresh green leaves and growth. But I remove a lot of this synthetic fertilizer because I use rose tone. And this is also where I go ahead and remove all the tags from the trunk. And also that gives me a chance to, I mean, I could still do this. Get up in here and prune out any dead bits. So let me go ahead and do that. While that hole is draining, let me go ahead and do that real quick. So I just place it on top of this table, and I'm gonna go underneath the canopy and just remove anything that's dead, damaged, and diseased. Since normally that's what you tend to do around this time of the season anyway, so I might as well make good of, you know, this time frame to go ahead and do just that. So I just make sure my pruners are cleaned, or sanitized rather, before I do this. And looking up underneath this rose, I can tell this was a bare root rose that they planted in this container, and they just fed it a whole lot of fertilizer. So that right here, you see where I got my pruners? Let's go ahead and cut that dead bit off, because I don't want anything that's dead to spread diseases later on in the growing season. I want to kind of get this rose off to a good start. So I'm just clipping right now, and then I'll go ahead and shake the bush, and hopefully all the dead will drop. See, it's a good time to inspect, and I should have seen this at the nursery. This right here is what I'm talking about. So this piece right here clearly broke off. This stem right here was probably cut off improperly, probably not with really clean or sharp shears, and you get this split right here. So what I'm going to do is put some pruning spray right here, just to protect that hole or that gash so that it doesn't rot out. Actually, now's the time to actually thin out some of this rose. I did read and saw online that the Olivia Austin is a very prolific rose. Lots of foliage, lots of healthy blooms, and it also has an upright habit. I think on a British channel, I heard that it does have a tendency to flop. Now, where I plan to keep this rose right there, it's going to be in morning sun, which comes from the east, the east that way, and evening sun coming from the west. And midday sun, it does have the canopy of those trees to kind of give it some relief during the hottest part of the day. So it should be fine. I think it should be a very healthy rose situated right there. There we go. That's a good level. I want it to have good drainage, so that's why I have it about an inch or inch and a half above the soil level. When I plant roses, I like to make sure they are extremely well watered in. That way the plant can take up all, it can first off, it can settle very well. All the soil settles nice and compact around the root zone. That way you have great root to soil contact. Also, all of the fertilizers can
really be absorbed and taken in by the root zone, the root structure. And then I follow back with a 50-50 mix of native soil that was there previously and fresh compost. So I'll just alternate back and forth, backfilling the hole